Hi, my name is Sean Abram, and I'm Chairman and CEO of Crowdpoint Technologies. And I'm just going to provide you a quick presentation about what we do. And at the end, if you stay tuned, we're going to show you a quick video that's revolutionary in how easy it's going to be to work with our technologies. Crowdpoint Technologies is a digital platform technology company that provides an intelligent internet experience. We can innovate and renovate the current approach to data, information, and web infrastructure. Crowdpoint aims to be a vital part of the backbone of the web, providing an internet that users deserve. Let's jump in. Our North Star is you. When we started this company, we wanted to make sure that the North Star for Crowdpoint Technologies would always be the human identity. The name Crowdpoint describes an inflection point when the purpose few are joined by the many. It's the tipping point when that happens. What we do, we are the backbone of digital platforms that support AI. Our Vogon decentralized cloud enables long-term memory that yields collective intelligence derived from the intersection of commercial and capital markets. The big idea was to make AI practical. After all, you've all heard it. The data is the new oil. The human identity is the oil field that provides the raw material for our global economy. Refined oil is fuel. Analytics refine data to information. Transferring information to the right person will power the next evolution of the global economy. Information is transferred using knowledge graphs on Vogon. Connecting the commercial and capital markets creates a highly effective form of long-term memory called collective intelligence. Collective intelligence creates a more efficient market system. What is long-term memory? Essentially, long-term memory is really simple. It's that data that is put into a large repository in the cloud that ChatGPT or response AI technologies can read very easily and go back to it because it's indexed in a really, really efficient way. And that's what we call an RDF knowledge graph. So by creating a decentralized cloud where its database is actually kind of a data lake that consists of a distributed document store, it's kind of like having a bunch of files in a filing cabinet. So you always know where to go back in. So the AI can go back to that index at the top of the filing cabinet, go to the exact folder and pull out the right file over and over again. So it creates long-term memory. We really designed our technology to provide an effective solution for this challenge and many others in order to create and support the semantic web. So let's take a look at how we're the backbone. So we call our technology Vogon. Essentially consists of these containers. And these containers have some really cool things associated with them. One, there's a consensus engine at its core. It allows it to talk to data to determine how to make sure that only the right data is created at the exact same time. And we secure it using this BLS 12381 block graph technology. That waveform helps us secure the data. Because the data is stored in a format that uses really cool indexes and semantic pointing and a knowledge graph, it actually becomes curated. Curated data is really easy to consume for AI, especially if it's put into a format that both humans and machines can read called a JSON. This curated data is tracked using history from our Vogons. The Vogons are the technology you see that powers our decentralized cloud. And that history then can be made accessible through what we call a towel. A towel is the most important thing in our universe, and that towel is essentially a microservice, and that microservice allows anyone to bring any language they want, any programming language, to be able to communicate to our containers through an API that's called a polyglot. And all that data can be exported out at any time. And so that allows us that whenever you need to store more data or use more power, these containers automatically use that consensus engine to create another container. So what that looks like is a much more efficient approach for supporting the internet you deserve, Web3, that's semantically aligned because it's easy to find the data in a technology that's both a decentralized ledger. In other words, it's immutable, it keeps track of everything, and it can't be changed. And the data is stored as immutable so that if you want to change the data, it shows you when and how you change the data. So let's kind of look at what we just talked about, kind of working in action. So you have all these containers that can kind of replicate, and they have this API that you can bring any language to. They have a file inside of it that's what's called a JSON file. Both a human and a machine can read it, and that creates a kind of a database. At the same time, it creates a container. When you bring all those together, those ones and zeros and that data on the JSON files creates a private data lake. A data lake is what artificial intelligence loves to use to consume and learn from. And we facilitate that through a knowledge graph. And all of that is aligned to these. When we talk about the intersection between commercial and capital markets, we use a global industrial categorization system called GICS, and we run analytics on it. That all resides inside a private data lake. We have a clearinghouse that anonymizes all the critical information and then publishes it on the same kind of containers. However, this time it's on a public data lake with the same knowledge graph that's on the private data lake. And then that allows more analytics to be seen that everyone can see. When someone wants to gain access to the private data, they have to go through the clearinghouse and pay for it or do a trade in like data. So not only are we changing the economics on the difference between data and information, we're changing the economics in the cloud. Our decentralized cloud is really a logical next step in the evolution of decentralized infrastructure. It's purpose-built day one for letting data find the data and the user find the relevance and pay for it in a secure, quick environment for far less cost. Let's talk about it. So you have a traditional centralized cloud, you have the blockchain, and you have Vogon. Let's take a quick look at this. So essentially, if you compare it, we offer a polyglot virtual machine, which means it speaks to any language that powers our cloud. We use a really super scalar deterministic concurrency process. There are other deterministic concurrency implementations around the world, but ours is super scalar in the way that we did it. We use a highly secure BLS 12381 block graph. That's that capability of keeping the data inside the container secure while you're creating the container. We use a JSON distributed document store. This has been used in other capabilities out there where you have companies like MongoDB, which is a JSON database, a NoSQL database. That same capability, however, containerized in microcontainers and spread all over the world with our cryptographic encryption and extremely energy efficient. It can be done in seconds, and it uses the same energy as a regular server. It doesn't require anything special like a GPU or anything else. And it allows us to use these knowledge graphs to create things like NoSQL queries. And those of you who know technology, it's a better way or a more efficient way of querying data. So like the thing here at Crowdpoint, that we're the right team at the right time. Our executive team enjoys multiple decades of experience in technology, finance, and corporate leadership. We have high expertise in artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, big data, distributed architectures, and finance. In fact, our core development team has worked together for 10 plus years across multiple companies, building solutions for complex data problems. We're following a really widely adopted revenue model. Crowdpoint's core revenue model follows the cloud industry standard as pay-as-you-go approach. So customers who build applications, services, and systems are familiar with this. Vogon will provide an additional sticky stream of revenue to Crowdpoint as the company will be utilizing Vogon as the infrastructure basis for our tech stack and AI solutions, as will our customers. We actually consume our technology the same way that we sell our technology. Wow, right? What all of us at Crowdpoint are excited about, the decentralized cloud market is expected to explode as part of a $2 trillion global market in the next 5 years. We believe we're going to excel because we offer increased accessibility, enhanced security, improved efficiency, reduced cost, increased privacy, scalability, resiliency, interoperability, and we reduce barriers to entry with our technology. In fact, we believe we can be the backbone of where the web's going and provide people the internet they deserve. When it comes to the simplicity, if you want to stick around for a minute, I'm going to show you a video of two developers talking about their experience working on Vogon.
Everybody's talking about Chat GPT these days, and it's a really great tool. People actually ask me if it's going to replace programmers, and it won't, but it is a really great starting point. So we decided to use it as a starting point for this, and we're going just to create a quick data model that we can send to Vogon and just show how easy it is. What data model do you want? We can have something useful, like a business case, or we could have something just as an example.
I got an idea. Maybe a restaurant menu.
Okay, restaurant menu. So give me a JSON schema for a restaurant menu. All right, so ChatGPT is spitting this out, and you can see it just has stuff like the restaurant name, an array of menu items. Each menu has an item name, a description, a price, a category. All right, that looks good. And then I'm going to say, so now I'm saying, how do I create a React form with a JSON schema? I develop with React. It's a HTML development framework. It says, okay, we're going to use a library called React JSON Schema Form. I have a brand new project. I'm going to install that. So I'm just taking the little pieces of code. It's giving me directions. You know, it says do this, then this, and I'm just copying and pasting it. Okay, and now what I have is, I have this, I'm going to rename this to be restaurant form. So I got that working, I submitted it, and it showed me the result. And the result is all of the metadata for a Vogon block in the distributed ledger. And this dynamic data piece shows that this was my payload, right? What we expect, my name, email, phone number, and reservation information. And then this address is the Vogon address that it gives me so that I can access this data whenever I want. And I just tested that out where I did vogon.crowd.world and I put in the address and it gives me back exactly what we saw there.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Ricardo from Texas. I'm a few years into development. My focus is mainly making things look good, making things look easy to use. And Josh was like, hey, get this, try it out, see how it goes for you. So I'm not the strongest with APIs. I wish I was. But even with my skill set, like as a junior developer, like I was able to get this up and running in like 10 minutes, a little bit longer than Joshua, just because of I had to go through a few Google searches. But once I was able to hit it, and because of how easy it was, I was able just to keep building, and it didn't like give me roadblocks in my day. It didn't like roll into the next day. It just worked. So here I just have a simple form data on the app that I'm working on. It's a rebuild of Linktree. And I just submitted that form data, and now I have my data on the blockchain. And like in any other case, if I was tasked with, hey, get data to the blockchain, that would have taken me who knows how long to go and try to figure out from scratch. But with this, I was like, woohoo, I got it done in no time at all.
Super. Well, you got to pick up your daughter from school, and Josh, you got to head to the hospital. But I just wanted you guys to see, when you talk about scalability of a company, it was to set the tone. As we are able to sign on more systems integrators who are going to do the selling for us, because they can basically manage their bench more efficiently and get our cloud infrastructure up, this is going to be really game changing. It literally made it easier for a guy like Ricardo to provision a database, because the database is actually Vogon, to provision a ledger because the ledger is actually Vogon, and then was able to use a emerging tool technology like ChatGPT to build a fully functional app that now all he needs to do is stylize it and make it look a little bit different. That is where you're going to get the massive adoption on Web3, because you basically provide it and the economics behind a lower cost cloud. So I want to thank both of you guys for coming in and giving a real world demo, because it allows me, when I use terms like, pre-built microservices, to have the average person understand how powerful this is.
Thank you for having us. And just lastly, to just back up Joshua and being able to support others on my own time, just I like to record videos for development tutorials in Spanish. I'll do a lot of those. And it's kind of just like where our heart's always been of like helping others do what we can like, with tools that we can build them. So that's part of how Tesseract operates with Crowdpoint.